Let's jump into it. 50 Cent, the creator of Get Rich or Die Trying, the master of petty, the king of troll. One day he's get the strap, next day he's positive vibes only. 50 is great for hip hop and he's definitely needed in the game, but as of late he's been empty musically. In this video I go over all the numerous times 50 Cent has delayed albums and how we as fans are still waiting for announced mixtapes, albums, and videos to drop. Alright, so let's start off with Curtis. Curtis initially was supposed to drop on June 26, 2007 and would have been 50 Cent's third studio album to release up until that date. The album was shortly delayed after that to September 4th, 2007, which was then delayed again to September 11th, 2007. All those delays resulted in a, what we call a album sales beef with Kanye West, which we would pretty much say that it didn't pan out well for 50 Cent domestically. However, he did have a lot of success globally. I will say as a fan, because I'm a fan and I'm trying to be unbiased, but I'm a little biased to this because in no way should have Kanye been able to compete with 50 Cent. The only reason I feel Kanye was able to outsell 50 domestically was because Kanye had, what we will say, the people that hated 50 Cent buy Kanye's album in spite of 50 Cent. And it helped Kanye, beat 50 Cent in a sales beef. Back then, 50 Cent used to flex a lot when it comes to selling records, and he had all the right to feel that he was going to outsell Kanye. To his dismay, he did not. Hope y'all enjoying that voiceover so far. But I wanted to point something out before we move forward. Before I Self-Destruct was supposed to drop before Curtis. It's a little nugget there. And then the whole beef with Cameron came on, and then it just changed the direction of Before I Self-Destruct. It just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think of it, So before this Self-Destruct was in production for who knows how long, and then it still got delayed when it was supposed to come out. So, yeah, just adding more to the whole Immortal delay side of 50 Cent. So now we move forward to Before I Self-Destruct. Before I Self-Destruct. 50 Cent was trying to see the future because he understands that people are creatures of habit. And when you bring up someone from nothing to stardom, you immediately want to see their downfall. And 50 Cent had an idea of that, and he was just trying to jump the gun by creating a song or an album called Before I Self-Destruct. And just kind of demonstrating the destructive mind state that one can be in that time span. However, there was supposed to be an album called Black Magic, which was supposed to be dance music that he shelved, and we never heard of it ever again. However, in the movie, Before I Self-Destruct that 50 Cent wrote, produced, and did everything, in the movie you were able to hear a cut or two of the Black Magic album, which there was a few cuts, but it was very, it was very European type of music, If you go back and listen to it, it's kind of like comical. Like, 50 Cent, you're really about to do this kind of music? I mean, check it out, man. All right, so Before I Self-Destruct was initially supposed to release on February the 4th of 2008, which was then delayed to March of 2008, March 24th to be exact. Then it was delayed till September 29th of 2009. And as we know, the reason it was delayed because we had Curtis coming out, so Before I Self-Destruct was just shelved at that point. So on the date of September 29th, 2009, the album was then pushed back again to November the 3rd of 2009. Then we received another delay of November 17th, 2009. And yeah, you guessed it, we got another delay of November the 24th of 2009. But surprisingly, because of all these delays in his album, it ended up leading to a push up. His album was pushed up to November the 9th for a digital release, and then November 16th for a physical release. And they did this because they wanted to get as many people to buy the album digitally and then release the album almost a week later. So then you can combine the amount of sales physically with the amount of sales digitally, so he could appear as if he sold quite a bit in his first week Again, at this time, 50 Cent seemed to have still been in that mind state of selling albums and having the highest first week sales. Very Nicki Minaj-esque, if you would ask me. Once before I saw the Struck release, to me personally, I thought it was one of his more lyrical albums. I enjoyed it. It was a lot darker than Get Rich or Die Trying was, and I think it was really slept on by a lot of people. A lot of people that like Get Rich or Die Trying, I think, would have enjoyed Before I Saw the Struck. But again, at this point, a lot of the fandom or the fanfare or the fan approval by 50 Cent in the public was at an all time low. I mean, you just lost to Kanye. Perceptionally, you lost to Kanye. And then everybody was just starting to move on to a different wave. 2009 was a weird time to be in. This is when the Drakes and the Little Waynes were beginning to take over. Or Wayne has already taken over at that time, but this is when Drake was about to start bubbling. So we were in a transition state of going from this hardcore street music to a more softcore emo style of music. And as you could tell, it didn't bode well as far as the numbers for 50 Cent in this album. I don't know how many times I've been talking to my friends about Street King Immortal. I don't know how many times I've seen people talk to me about Street King Immortal. To the few fans that I know out there, man, we've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. And we're about to dig into every single delay that's been on this album and the problematic issues that is presented for a lot of us fans, just in general. All right, so the next album on the list is Animal Ambition, which was the album I least enjoyed from 50 Cent. A few cuts on there. You had Twisted, you had Pilot. I forgot the name of the song. I think it was Winning or something like that. A Winner, something like that. A few cuts on there that were really enjoyable, but other than that, it was a really non-memorable album. I expected more, and especially that song, Animal Ambition itself. I hate that song, and that's me being an objective 50 Cent fan that seems to be blind, according to all my friends. So now we're moving on to Street King Immortal. A lot of people on here might know, if you're watching this, you're probably a 50 Cent fan or you have some interest in 50, and you know that this album has been talked about for such a long time that it reminds me of someone similar that has been associated with 50 Cent to the name of Dr. Dre and Detox. 50 Cent's Street King Immortal is what Detox was to Dr. Dre. Street King Immortal was supposed to be the album that would bring 50 back up from, not being the number one rapper, not being the number one entertainer, and as far as hip hop music is concerned. And he did have potential. I mean, he had everyone waiting for this album to drop. We were expecting something more personable, something that everyone has been waiting for 50 to just open up a little bit more and let us into his life a little bit more, other than the braggadocious, hardcore style of music that he had. Street King Immortal first was announced back in summer of 2011 and then delayed to November 2012 and then delayed to November 26th of 2013. And then the unthinkable, it was delayed 3 years later all the way until August of 2016. The 18th of August of 2016. Damn near 3 year delay. A 3 year pushback. Imagine being a fan. Say you're a fan of The Weeknd, of any big major artist out there, Drake or whatever the case may be, or something similar to what Lil Wayne went through, but that was a little bit different. That was because of his legal issues. But this is by choice. We had a 3 year delay of Street King Immortal. That's wild, man. As a fan, I was just beyond myself. I was just like, I want 50 Cent music. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had all these new acts, but I still wanted someone like 50 Cent, being the OG that he is, to come back in the game and just give us some hard-hitting music. And we just didn't get it, man. And it was tough being a fan during that time span. I mean, it still is, because we still don't have the album. But, let's get back to the voiceover. All right, so imagine being that fan, right? I mean, as you saw, it was crazy. So then 50 Cent in 2017 stated that the album would drop at the end of 2017. Man, I sure was waiting for it, right? We were sure waiting for it. The crazy thing is we did see a couple of songs that were supposed to be on that album. We had Major Distribution with Young Jeezy. We had We Up with Kendrick Lamar. We had Crazy here recently. And we had Still Think I'm Nothing. Every song had a feature. Still Think I'm Nothing had Jeremiah. Crazy had PNB Rock. And then there was this one song that I felt should have been a massive, massive, massive hit, but it did not, which was crazy to me. And I think it told 50 Cent a lot about what he needs to do moving forward with his music. When he dropped New Day with Alicia Keys and Dr. Dre, I thought that was going to be a smash. I thought it was going to be Billboard Hot 100, absolute fire song, because it just had a really beautiful message, if you ask me. And the chorus of Alicia Keys and Dr. Dre with a really, really good solid verse, and 50 Cent with a very personable opening verse and ending verse. I thought the song itself with an amazing beat, it was going to just be an astronomical hit, and it would have been able to get the momentum, the ball rolling for the album to release. However, the song did not do what I thought it was going to do, and I think that discouraged 50 Cent, to be quite honest. He had another song, which I can't remember. I forgot who was the I think the song was called Warning, and I forget who the girl was that was the hook artist. She did a lot of hooks for Eminem. Y'all can correct me in the comments. I forgot. That song I thought was a really solid song, and it never released officially. So Street King Immortal, we are still waiting for this album to release. And as you can tell from the title, 50 Cent Immortal Delay, we are still awaiting this album to come out. And the reason why I'm making this video, because maybe I could reach 50 Cent. Maybe I could get his attention to hear me out, to be like, look, if I got to come up to New York and hear you music for you and point out certain things and not be a yes man and tell you, look, this is the shit you need to release, then so be it. But me as a fan, I would love to hear Street King Immortal. Me as a fan would love to hear 50 Cent music in the current climate. And we just haven't got any albums. Now, I'm not trying to be so difficult or so hard on 50 Cent about his music. I understand he has all these endeavors when it comes to Power, when it comes to his other shows on these different networks, when it comes to BMF that he's in middle of production, and The Oath and all these other items. I'm pretty sure he got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, and then when you got a fine baby mama like Daphne Joy, and you got your son sired, and you got your other son beefing with you. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on, and probably music isn't your priority at this moment. However, you were able to make plenty of mixtapes and plenty of albums leading up to Street King Immortal. We had Murder by Numbers, we had the Big 10, we had the DJ Drama Gangsta Grills mixtape that 50 Cent had released. We had two G-Unit albums, which was a part of the G-Unit reunion that 50 had released. And all of this, I thought that this was going to lead to the impeding release of the Street King Immortal album, which we just never got. Now, we never got the Street King Immortal album, but we did see 50 Cent leak up with a lot of Atlanta producers, which resulted in the Kanan mixtape. And the Kanan mixtape is another part of this, equation of the Immortal Delay that is 50 Cent. In the Kanan mixtape, you had amazing songs that were like, all right, this is the 50 Cent in the current climate that can actually give you something that, all right, 50 Cent still got it. You know what I'm saying? He released I'm the Man. I'm the Man did amazing without the Chris Brown feature, and it did even better with the Chris Brown feature. He had a song with Post Malone. He had a song with Boozy and Young Buck. A lot of those songs on the Kanan Reloaded, or the Kanan mixtape, I spoke too soon, on the Kanan mixtape was really solid. And honestly, I'm still waiting on the Kanan Reloaded mixtape. As you heard, I said it, Kanan Reloaded. 50 Cent mentioned Kanan Reloaded shortly after the Kanan mixtape. This has probably been 2-3 years ago during Power, and we still haven't got that. That's really disappointing. We've been waiting for Kanan Reloaded as well. So we got two things that we've been waiting for that 50 Cent has delayed us on. Now, me personally, I kind of want to ask Ike Rivera, I'm not sure how you actually say his first name. But after the I'm the Man video, there was a little cutscene of the Post Malone video with 50 Cent. And we just never... The song is called Trying to Fuck Me Over, or Trying to Fuck Me Over. What I forgot how you fucking say it. It's Trying to Fuck Me Over. And there was a video. They shot a video. Post Malone and 50 Cent shot a video. Don't you think that would have done numbers for 50 Cent and Post Malone at that time? Post Malone was a new artist at that time, and 50 Cent was able to see the talent, and he brought him on. Because if you remember, Post Malone did that Window Shopper little remix, and it did big time views on YouTube. And then this one, Post Malone was blowing up with White Iverson. However, I just don't get it for the life of me why that video never released, and it still hasn't released. Kanan Reloaded still hasn't released. Street King Immortal still hasn't released. So as you can tell, I'm a very passionate fan when it comes to 50 Cent. I've been a fan since 2003. I was damn near 12, 13 at the time. And I had to grow up with all the hate that he endured, which my immediate friends took it out on me. And here I am, still a fan. Still a fan, I won't change. And I just want to see and hear more 50 Cent music. I want to see 50 Cent being what I felt that he can be. And that's another video for a different day. I do have a video coming out that 50 Cent could have been the greatest rapper of all time. Me personally, I feel he already is. But to have a, end of all debates, I think he could have been the greatest rapper of all time without me even saying that. And the only reason I say that is because he didn't reach his max potential. He has so much potential from a music aspect and hip hop that I just didn't think he took advantage of. And that's unfortunate. But there's still a chance, 50. There's still a big time chance if you release Street King Immortal. There may be something there that we are all waiting to hear. And there may be something there that could probably change the world. You just never know. And maybe I'm too hopeful. Maybe I'm blind to 50 Cent. But there's one thing that I can say, and I know that there's a ton of people out there that are still waiting for this album. And as a fan of 50 Cent, I do hope you release it one day. All right, so in ending, again, I'm a big time 50 Cent fan, man. I've been purchasing every single album, every single movie. I don't have everything here with me. I would have been showing it off so I could just show off my Juna sweater that I've been having since high school. But just know I'm really a big time fan. I've never changed. I've never wavered. I just wish 50 Cent could hear this video or even watch it and hope that maybe he could hear me out and he could drop the album, drop the video, or drop the mixtape. Either one, Street King Immortal, Kanan Reloaded, or the Post Malone video that we all been known about. You just haven't dropped it. So this is me being a fan, man, and I hope y'all enjoy that. And it's just 50 Cent's the immortal delay king, man. It's crazy, and I hate to say that, but he really is. Well, this has been your boy TGK. Until I catch you on the next one, man, I'm out.